You're on, Nathan.
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for being here this afternoon. We are just absolutely thrilled to have back in person-ish Taylor K. Shaw. I was thinking about it today. Taylor was on campus back in February. I think the actual day was February 7th. And what a difference 1 month makes. We are completely turned upside down. Right is wrong, left is right. All this kind of crazy stuff is happening. And before we really get into it, Taylor, I would just love to know how you are doing. What has changed in your life? What has remained the same? What's going on?
Yeah, Nathan, it is great to be here with you all. I'm really excited for the presentation. My life actually, luckily for us, we had signed a couple of development contracts and had some things moving right before we've all been, greatly impacted by COVID-19. So throughout this time, we've actually been very busy, which I'm happy to say. Animation is so interesting because it is the only piece of this entertainment industry puzzle that can still go on right now. So we're kind of just moving full steam ahead on, our own original content and developing a few shows. And really, we're in production, we're onboarding new teams. So that's really exciting. New project managers, new supervising producers for the content that we're developing. So yeah, there's a lot moving for Black Women Animate. But we have been impacted when it comes to the boot camp and trying to figure out with that major event, how we move forward with it. So hopefully I can let you guys know sooner than later what the plans are.
Yeah, because you hit the nail on the head. It's something we've been thinking about a lot. I mean, right now, because so much of your platform really you were already utilizing Zoom, GChat. You're already doing so much stuff across the country that a lot of the in-person stuff wasn't, at least as far as I understand, a massive component. I mean, without saying too much, you're working like largely out of your own home, like so much maybe has stayed the same. And I'm wondering if everyone is actually kind of laser beam focused more on you, because like all of us, young greenhorns are looking at a captain who's been on the sea for a long time saying, how do we swim or how do we sail? And like, you've done this is your territory. And I'm wondering, because of that, do you feel like you've gotten more opportunity or more attention of someone being like, yeah, Taylor and, Black Women Animate, they know what they're doing. Let's go see what they're up to.
Yeah, definitely. That's the case. Because a lot of these, I like to tell people, as they're looking for folks to work with during this time, like we're a small and nimble company. So like you said, we've already been working virtually, managing teams. I'm in New York, but managing them in New York, also in LA, also folks in Canada, all around, thinking about if we were to start an episodic television production right now, how we do that virtually. And we feel very confident and prepared to do that just because we are so used to working in this way. So yeah, for us, it ultimately, I think it is going to be a plus because we are a young company that knows how to move and ebb and flow with these changes. And a lot of our business has been virtual. So yeah, that's a really great question.
And how are you doing on a personal level? I feel like the term zoomed out is becoming into the lexicon right now. Are you pretty zoomed out, or again, this feels normal?
It's funny. I actually have more video calls now than I did before, where we were, when we were just running most of our productions virtually, meaning people didn't ask as much to see, unless it was like, oh, it was more so like fly out. So I think a lot of the overhead costs are going to be cut for a lot of people because we're all going to see like we actually can just hop on a Zoom call. So, honestly, I am not quite zoomed out because I am really great at setting boundaries and being like, let's just hop on the phone. we don't have to see each other. So yeah, it's okay. But I get everybody being zoomed out. I am Zoom partied out though. Everybody's birthday party, the birthday parties and the family Zooms and all. I'm just like, okay, I can't spend the whole weekend on the computer. So.
Well, that's so great. I don't want to take up too much time because I know we're mostly excited to have you here to talk with Keith and Deonne.
Woo!
Who, again, to reiterate, Taylor was here about 2 months ago chatting with them in person when their videos in post-production, they were working on it. But before we get into that, Meg, do you want to tell us or introduce yourself and tell us about this LDFA grant?
Sure. My name is Meg Grant. I'm the director of the Academic Access Studio at Montserrat College of Art. About a year ago, Blyth and I found out about this grant. We applied and we got it, which was wonderful. And basically, it's the Learning Disabilities Foundation of America. They are out of Pittsburgh, and they provide funding for research and education to bring awareness and further education of learning disabilities kind of nationwide. What they were really looking for is something that could be shared with a lot of people on many platforms. So what we did is Blyth and I kind of put a call out to the animation students. It was an application process. They had to write a proposal, resume, cover letter, the whole process. And we have 4 interns, Keith and Deonne, and then another duo working on a video game. But both of them are covering self-advocacy, because when you get to college, it's very, very, very different. In the realm of learning disabilities, a lot of it is self-driven. So the 2 projects, both Keith and Deonne's and then Anya and Dorian's, are really focusing on that self-advocacy piece. And it's been a joy. They're both almost done, which is so exciting. So yeah, and we're really grateful. LDFA has been wonderful through this whole process. They are internships, so the students not only get credit, but because we were able to get a grant, they're also getting paid, which we're very exactly, which we're always happy to provide as well. So it's been a really great experience.
That's so great, Meg. I just want to say quickly, I was really excited when I was at the college. I was able to see a little bit of what Keith and Deonne were planning to do and just learn more about the grant, which is amazing. As somebody with, health stuff, for there to be a piece about self-advocacy out there, how important it is to learn that in college is, I was really touched by that. So I love this.
Good.
Well, thank you so much. Of course, we really want to hear from Keith and Deonne, but for those joining us, there's no way this is possible who don't know who Taylor K. Shaw is. Shaw is, I'll have to bleep that out. Shaw is one of the youngest CEOs in animation and one of the brightest game changers in Hollywood. She created Black Women Animate, the first and only production company designed to change the world of animation by providing women and non-binary animators of color with the resources needed to be influencers in the industry. Shaw is a visionary creator, writer, and activist tackling representation across the media landscape, one industry at a time. She's a thought leader who has been featured in Forbes, Deadline, Hollywood, Emmy Magazine, Teen Vogue, Elle, and more for empowering marginalized voices to control their own narratives and embrace their inner power. And one of the most exciting projects, of course, of many is Black Women Animate, which is the first and only production company designed to improve the representation of Black women in animation. While creating her own animated series, Taylor wanted to employ a team of Black women animators, but quickly realized that her search would be more challenging than she expected. And she joined forces with creative and activist J. Love Calderon to create Black Women Animate, and a chance to help Black women, women of color, and non-binary artists of color in the world of animation to obtain visibility and job opportunities. But thank you so much again, Taylor, for being here today. Keith and Deonne, do you want to talk a little bit about yourselves, your background, what you're working on, where you're at in your lives?
I'll go first, I guess. I'm Deonne. I'm a second semester senior, at least going into one, where I'm going to graduate in December. I'm an animator, concentration. I'm just hoping to graduate and get a job soon.
I'm Keith Davis. I'm going to be a junior, and my concentration is animation. I'm looking to minor in creative writing as well. For this project, me and Deonne, we wanted to make this animation feel not too much like
A
like
lecture?
yeah, a boring lecture, like it's educational, but like we wanted to be a
Fun.
little fun to watch and see at the same time. So working together, it was fun. Me and him, uh we think alike when it comes to certain things. So we had no problem coming up with ideas and bouncing ideas off of each other. So um this was fun. So I hope y'all enjoy the animation.
Yeah.
And of course, we're excited to see it. Could you tell us a little bit about the premise, the concept, the ideas, how y'all even came together to start working on this?
Oh, so all we know is that like Keith is a big fan of being like self-advocacy, just standing up for yourself. And we kind of he was really excited to do this as we want to work together since we know each other so well. So we really wanted to bring our humor into something that is very, also very important. And we wanted to make sure that not everyone, like not even if you have a learning disability, but anyone who has any type of form of problem, any struggles, we want to hit people with different personalities. So if they see this and they don't have the disability, but have like this personality trait and have struggles, have the ability to stand up for themselves and relate to the characters and be able to be like, oh, maybe I should try thinking about this too.
Yeah, relating to the characters it was big on what we were trying to do. The animation basically you see a bunch of like you see two students who are struggling to self-advocate in college with and the two students like greatly differ from each other. Like they each have their own different problems, different like they approach things differently, so we wanted to reach out to different people, because everybody goes through something different. So you see a character Junebug struggling with ADHD, and then you see another character Magdalena struggling with dyscalculia, and she doesn't like asking for help. Is what really like her struggle is. She tries to face things even though it causes her stress and anxiety. She just tries to deal with it. But Junebug has a different problem where he sells himself short type of thing. So we wanted to give these characters these, real life scenarios and have you have make them relatable,
That's fantastic. Thank you. Blyth, can we roll it?
Going into college, many students are thrown into a new environment where they must learn to self-advocate. What is self-advocacy? Self-advocacy is speaking and/or acting for yourself, making decisions to better your future. Self-advocacy helps with developing communication and assertiveness skills. In order to self-advocate, you must understand what you need in order to move forward. Students don't always come into college with these skills in hand. That is why we have prepared this guide to self-advocating in college. This is Junebug. Junebug has attention deficit hyperactive disorder, otherwise known as ADHD. With ADHD, he struggles with his memory, staying focused, impulse control, organization, managing time, and following multi-step directions. Right now, he is struggling to stay focused on the exam. This is making it difficult for him to complete it before time runs out. Hey, Junebug.
Hey.
Do you wish to receive a passing grade on this exam?
Yes, sure.
Do you wish to finish the exam before the end of class?
Yeah, that'd be dope.
So, what should you do to get the exam done?
I guess?
No. If you need more time on the exam, let your teacher know. Tell her what you need. Guessing won't help you later down the road, but advocating for your needs will. Let Miss Grant know that you need to take a movement break during the test, and ask her to play some ambient music while you're at it.
Guessing's been working for me so far. The C doesn't look too bad.
Settling for less, I see. How about this? I have something that can help you get through your exams. I'll give it to you if you go ask Miss Grant for assistance.
Miss Grant?
Yes, hon?
I wanted to know if you'd be cool with me taking, like, movement breaks during the test to walk around. It's really hard for me to sit down for such a long time.
Yeah, that's totally fine with me. If it makes you comfortable, then I'm all for it.
Thank you. And, what was the other thing?
Ambient music?
Ambient music, yeah. Do you think you could play some ambient music during the test?
I certainly can.
Bet. Thanks, Miss Grant.
Of course.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Alright, what'd you get me? An answer key?
Even better.
What could be better than an answer?
A fidget cube.
How is this better than an answer key?
For starters, an answer key will only get you through this one exam.
Well, see, that's why you got me, right? You gonna spot me on the next few tests?
No. Helping you cheat won't help you learn. You won't retain anything from cheating. But this fidget cube will help you remain focused and get you through the test even better. Look, I bet you didn't even realize you were using it. This is Magdalena. Magdalena has to make up some homework assignments, and she has to study for an upcoming math test. She has dyscalculia. With dyscalculia, she struggles with reading numbers and understanding numerical concepts. This proves to be a big obstacle in class, but Magdalena likes to deal with her challenges herself. Asking for help is the last thing she would ever do, so she tries to persevere through her disability. But that causes her stress and anxiety. This is where self-advocacy skills would come in handy. Hey, Magdalena. So, how's the homework?
You followed me home?
Of course.
It's going fine.
Are you sure?
I said I'm good.
Really?
I got this.
There is no shame in struggle. To self-advocate, you've got to face and acknowledge your challenges so that you can locate what you need to succeed.
I know my problem, but the school doesn't know how to help me.
Assertive. Take it into your own hands. I can see you've been using the calculator on your phone for assistance. You should take it a couple steps further. Using a multi-sensory tool like popsicle sticks or base 10 blocks will help you see the numbers that you can't see on the page.
But don't they use this stuff in the first grade? I ain't no first grader.
Don't be silly. Those who need assistance use it. When you have a headache, you take aspirin. When you break your leg, you use crutches. We all use something at some point to assist us. No shame.
Yeah, whatever.
And why stop there? Screen readers can help you as well with the online tests.
You think I can't read, bro?
I said no such thing, Maggie, but it doesn't hurt to try. Try it out on the next exam. Hearing the question may make it easier to comprehend and make sense of it.
Thanks.
Don't mention it. Be sure to use everything we discussed and let me know what you get on that next exam.
I will.
Awesome. Great work, Keith and Deonne. I just want to give you all a round of applause. Really, really awesome work. It's great to see how your initial idea came to life. So of course, there are a ton of questions I have for you all. But before I give feedback, because I do have some things I think would be very helpful to think about, and also a lot of positive feedback. Before I give it, I just want to hear where you all are in the process. I think, Nathan, you might have mentioned, or Meg, you might have mentioned earlier that it's not done, it's not finished yet. So if you all could tell me just where you are in the process, and then that'll help me give you the most helpful feedback.
Well, we, because you remember when we first started to do it before, we wanted to do more characters. Just the two other characters that you saw in the beginning, but we decided to focus on just two before we try and do everybody else and we run out of time or something. So those characters are done. If we ever wanted to, I don't know, take it further and do the other two characters that we wrote, we could, but for what it is.
Yeah, it's great. Yes. Okay, great. So you all aren't going to do any more edits to these two pieces?
No.
Okay, great. Awesome. Well, I just want to say that this is so cool. The whole flashback to this era, really a big fan. I love the treatment that you all put on it. That filter that runs throughout is very cool. Let's see, the look is very consistent throughout. All of the characters feel like they're in the same world, which is super important. And I think a major feat in that, you all have a diversity of characters. And I haven't seen this diverse cast of characters in this style, and you all did it very well. I just even love the classroom scene where you still see your Asian basketball player in the back, like twiddling his fingers. Like he looks great. Magdalena, her character, her, physiology and body diversity is awesome. So really a big fan of that. And with facial expressions, also you all did a really great job. If you just see, as the characters are sitting there, their eyebrows are moving and raising at different heights, depending on what they're saying, which I was really impressed with. If we look at Junebug and him sitting there, and the eyebrows are switching, some are higher, some are lower. And then when he goes up to speak to the teacher, you also like the full expression of the character. And also he's kind of, he has a personality, which is clear, but he's on the shyer side. I wouldn't say like he's a shy character, but both of these characters aren't people that would typically advocate for themselves. So I felt like he was I felt like he was himself and was fully in character when he was asking the teacher, kind of leaned over like, hey, can I have this? And the lip syncing throughout was really, really great. For all of the characters. which I was also excited to see. So congrats on all of that, you both. That was really awesome. So the humor was also there. I definitely laughed at different points, like when the narrator, whose voice was awesome, by the way, I don't know who that is, but they definitely have a career in voiceover narration. And you all did great on the voiceover as well. But that character, when Junebug is asking for, advocating for himself, and he can't remember the second thing, which that was great writing too, you all. But he says, "Oh, Ambi," and the narrator goes, "Ambi." I was just cracking up the first time I saw that, so that was great. And there's really great moments like that throughout for comedy to be present, and it wasn't boring at all. I would have liked to see even more of that. I would have liked to see even more of the jokes that happened, that were happening in this era, like, when the piano falls on someone, or and I think there was more opportunity for that. There's more movement with the Junebug piece, but I think there was a lot of opportunity for that with Magdalena. There was a section for her where you were describing, her getting support, it being much like physical ailments. It could have been cool to see, somebody on, I can't remember the exact script there, but somebody on crutches, kind of like wobbling out and getting help, or like a series of that and that being funny. That could have also been cool to see. The movement there was really great. I mean, the baby, there's such a great choice, and you all showcase her other responsibilities, which is her siblings, which is really important too. But I love the moment of her, tying her other siblings' tie while they're running around crazy around the house, which is really funny. So these, so great. Let's see, I want to go back to the first short. The distractions were really, really thoughtful. If you look at, the fly that was buzzing around while they're trying to take a test, I mean, that would be very, very distracting for anyone, but especially someone that has ADHD. So that was a great addition. The fidget spinner, I was very impressed with how you all made a fidget spinner for that era. That model was really cool. Very cool model, very ingenious. Like, oh, I wouldn't have thought to, you didn't just do the regular like fidget spinners that we're seeing now. So that's really awesome. That's an original model, right?
No, you're talking about the fidget cube, right?
Yeah. The fidget cube, yeah. Like you all designed that. That didn't exist at the time.
Deonne drew that.
Yeah, nice, great, that's awesome. Well, yeah, really great design, and just you all bringing something modern into this world is I really appreciated that. Let's see. Yeah, in the script, I'll speak to the script. I thought it was really great. I know you all did a lot of work consulting your classmates, people who could relate to these stories. I thought it was a great mix of, studied information and using the characters' voices, which felt very natural and real. One thing I would have, as you all, if you look to make some more of these pieces and look at the characters, one thing I would think about is, what do you want the audience to really take away? I think these are really great steps for us to move towards self-advocacy. But another piece of that I think to consider is you don't always get an enthusiastic yes when you're self-advocating to start. Sometimes you have to say it, a second time, a third time, a fourth time, and really let people know, hey, this is what I need. So how by the end of this piece do we have two people who are demonstrating, you know, what that looks like. Like, what do we want the audience to take away and to know additionally about, you know, the ins and outs of self-advocating. These are really great examples. And I know, you know, we're under time constraints. You can't show every single example of what it looks like, but just to consider, you know, there are challenges associated with it that are beyond your actual disability. Like, you know, people don't always understand. And so how do you still encourage people with disabilities to continue to advocate for themselves, knowing that the world is not designed for their, you know, overall wellness? And how can that be encouraging? So it doesn't have to be, you know, I'm corny, so it doesn't have to be like a corny ending where it's like, I'm gonna advocate for myself. But were there maybe like repetitive phrases that you could have used, or something you could have brought back at the end that could have had the punchlines for Junebug and Magdalena at the end be like, okay, well, I feel confident advocating for myself now. Yeah. And then, yeah, again, I just want to talk a little bit more about Magdalena. Loved you all showing her humanity, how she supports her family. In terms of humor, I think it could have been really funny to have the baby do a bit more. Like, what if he had, you know, you all had her pull out some of the cubes, but what if the baby, you know, helped her out and like threw like a block cube in there or something like that. Like that could have been a really good area for comedic relief as well. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, it was really great. I have more questions, but I think if Blythe, would you like for me to ask the questions now, or do we want to hear from Keith and Deonne first?
Whatever you want to do is fine.
Okay, yeah. Well, I want to hear from you all first. So, you know, let's see. What did you learn about, you know, your styles as artists working in this particular animation style? I mean, from the beginning of the process, from what I saw, this is the style you all wanted to go with. But is there anything that you learned about your style as an artist and how that developed throughout this process?
I realized how I'm able to like kind of adapt to different styles, because this is not something I'm used to drawing like at all. And that's one of the reasons Dan and I picked this style, because it's pretty simple, but it's still kind of different. And me and him have two different styles to begin with, so we were like, me and him have to try to like conform to this style. So I learned how you know, once I kind of adapted to the style, it became pretty easy for me. So that's something I'm still, you know, getting used to.
Yeah.
Something I learned is the ability to draw backgrounds. I wasn't very comfortable drawing backgrounds, and after doing this and having to do every single background, I kind of got the gist of like how to take shortcuts and stuff. And like, if something's supposed to be symmetrical, don't draw out the whole thing. Just cut it in half, flip it over, you know, just finding little tools to get stuff faster so we could get this, you know, like get production better.
Yeah, wow. Those are both greater learnings as you prepare, you know, for graduation too, because you're going to have to pair your style with other people's styles, or maybe copy a style or do legacy characters. So that's going to be really important. So it's great that you got that practice with this piece. And then, you know, as you get commissioned, if you're doing freelance work for different, maybe smaller projects, sometimes you got to figure out how to do a background or two. So that's really great that you all got some more of that experience and learn the shortcuts of how to do it in a faster timeline. Great. I'm really excited to hear that. I myself as a writer was really, really just proud of the script that you all put together. So what was that process like, and how was doing that?
I like I said before, I kind of want to minor in creative writing, so writing it was pretty fun for me. Uh, it's funny because writing like sometimes like I said before, sometimes I can get like ambitious. So when I'm writing, like I want to do this and that with the animation. Um, so when it came to writing these characters, I wanted them all to be so different from each other. And I was trying to think of how many different scenarios can we throw these characters in. And we tried to split the characters up. I cover two characters, he covers the other two, and then but we were still kind of bouncing ideas off of each other. Like, what if Junebug did this, or what if Junebug did that, and whatnot. So I guess that was.
Yeah, nice. Deonne, do you have any notes about the scripting process?
I am not a writer by any means, so it was more like it was torture for me in a sense, because like how can I talk like this person and make sense, and like, so but having Keith, who's a way better writer, helped me out a lot by it. So I just kept on going back to him like, yo, how does this sound, what about this and that? So bouncing off the ideas and having someone like Keith really helped. So I think is useful. If you can't write, find someone who can help.
I love that. That's great. And it's still, I'm sure it's still a great experience, even if you don't decide to write again, because it's so important to understand story and to think about, as an artist too, to think about, okay, if I am this like freshman in college, I'm a woman, I'm taking care of my family, like, I'm Latina, like, what are the types of things that I'm gonna say? And it improves. I don't know if you found that it helped improve your drawing. I think you all probably started drawing first, but as you build a world of characters, I'm sure you all want to create your own shows. Like, as you do that, it's your connection to the story and how the character talks is going to be really important. So yeah, that's great to hear. Great. Let's see. And do you all, based on my feedback for the piece, do you all have any questions for me around what I thought about, the entire piece or either character story?
Your feedback was helpful. If we were to ever take this further and continue, like, with the other two characters that we wrote, your feedback would definitely be. Your feedback would help.
Yeah, it'll be put into consideration.
I appreciate that. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I would say, Blyth, were you going to say something? Yeah, I would just say the top two things, if you all are looking to, and I think you should definitely submit these to festivals. But as you're making considerations for that, making considerations for building out the series of these, it could be there's so many great opportunities for humor, and also driving home the points of self-advocacy and how that can be done very well, and the challenges one might face. Like, that could really punch up the power of the piece, having those elements, because at the end of the day, it is actually a serious topic. So I love the format with which you all chose to tell the story. So if you add in some more of the serious elements and you add in more humor, it's like it's a great match.
Thank you so much, Taylor, for your time.
Yeah, of course. Really wonderful. Of course. Yeah, this is a lot of fun, you guys. It's such a great piece. I'm really excited to see how it all came together. And of course, keep me posted on if you guys decide to do anything to these two or add to the series. Blyth, I did want to ask one more question. If you all let's see. I have a whole list here. What was the most exciting part for you all working on this?
I think when we agreed on like the style, I think that was probably really exciting. Also, when we found Greg, who voice acted for the narrator, when we found how like perfect he did that, that really, like, I don't know, seeing it all come together was really dope. But it was really fun to see, like, because concept is one thing, but then seeing it actually look like it's from that era was really exciting for me. Because I've never done anything like this.
I agree. Just getting to go from going from like pre-production to the end is great, because I have a struggle with just finishing stuff. So having the ability to like work with someone and get like a whole thing together and bring in other people and like doing the research and actually putting so much work into something and be like, I'm done. Look at it. Do you enjoy? I enjoy. So.
Oh, that's so great to hear. That's really exciting. Yeah, you all did the whole animation, pipeline process on your own. So just claps for that. And as artists, Deonne, to your point of finishing, something, that's really, I think, the majority of the battle is getting out of your own head and being like, okay, I'm going to finish this, and having accountability partners. I think it's great that you all did this project together, having accountability partners that are there with you and like, okay, we're going to do this together, or I know you're working on this thing, what's the progress on it? And I know Blyth and Nathan are great accountability partners for all of you all. But this is just really exciting for me to see. And again, I'm so proud of you guys and proud of this project, because it's impactful, but it's also a lot of fun. And to your point, Keith, you all definitely did a great job of making sure like it's in this era and it feels that way, but it also has that modern flair that is really unique and exciting, and I think will make people want to tune into the project. Awesome. Yeah. Great job, guys.
Well, we should let you go, Taylor. We've taken a lot of your time and really appreciate getting to have you back after being here at the beginning of this project to have you part of the end of this project. So
yeah, thank you for inviting me, and please keep me posted.
Will do.
Awesome. Thanks you all. Okay, talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.